Let's do this, baby! We got this shit on lockdown today, baby. It's looking good for Donald J. Trump to take the helm of the United States once again and restore some damn justice in this land. Welcome one, welcome all to the blockchain basement. Iski Street sweeping sufficient enough. Nicole Minnesota, Snowboarder 237, K-Day Solana with all your unhinged meme coins. I see you, bro. Johnny December, Nick Dunn. Shout out to Two Bros Mining for re-upping that basement membership. Appreciate you for doing that. Drew voted for a woman. Man, Ryan shit. He always tries to get me worked up. You know what I mean? He always tries to get me worked up. Shout out to you, Ryan. Jeremy, Zoes, Rusty Bot, Flippa Frank, all the people, Fade and Tradfi, Kevin Parson, Eric Wallen, Louis Armas, MJ Fourth, M Vino, Falco, all the best, Big Tip Shark. Now, Isaac,
sir,
you had an issue this morning.
I did.
Ooh, there's Troy Lindsay with the shirt.
Oh,
thanks, buddy. This is the shirt that I was so excited. I saved it up. I waited till it was election day to really bring the shirt back out. This is an original from Troy Lindsay and the WAF. Wonderful people. Now, Isaac.
Yo.
Did you go to the polls today?
Yeah, I did.
How'd that go for you, buddy?
Not good.
Okay.
So I registered a day late.
You registered a day late,
and they didn't let me vote.
Man,
I didn't even know there was a deadline for it. But they didn't let me vote, so I stomped out of my old middle school, pissed.
It was in your old middle school?
In my old middle school, in the gym, where all the fights used to happen. Pissed.
Unbelievable. It looks like people are loading up. You know what? Bitcoin showing a really good breath and sign of relief here this morning, you guys. But along with that, the altcoins not looking too bad. Let's check it out here. Bitcoin's price. And you know what? We got Piano Matty B that we're going to talk to about this action.
We do.
Bitcoin woke up. We're sitting here at 69.9 right now. It's trying to get near the 70K mark. But we got Piano Matty B in the wings here.
Indeed,
I want to have a listen to him. Here's my earbuds. Where's he at? Let's pull him up here. I want to see. There he is. Piano Matty B. Yeah, he's just Murphy. Isaac's on the sticks. You never know with this guy.
Oh my gosh.
How you doing, man? What a day. What a day in the markets, Piano Matty B. First of all, how you doing pre-decision? We don't know who's going to win this thing, but how are you doing on just the vibe up in Canada? Do you think that Trump's going to take this thing? Or what's your analysis from up north, brother?
Well, thanks for having me, and that's a absolutely fantastic shirt you got there. I think it might be one of the best shirts I've ever seen.
Thank you very much. It's a custom. Troy Lindsay, his wife hooked me up, so.
Well, up here, I kind of feel like that meme with Matthew McConaughey smoking all the cigarettes, like waiting for the day to plan out, because I really feel we're at, a turning point in society and civilization. And if it doesn't go a certain way, listen, Bitcoin will have its day in the sun, nothing can stop it. But when I look down generationally, at our kids and stuff, this is, it's either the start or it's the end of something that can't be undone, so to speak. So despite what happens, good or bad, I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. However, there will be some caveats. If let's say there's a Kamala collapse win, right? So you can see here we have on the 4-hour chart this cute little head and shoulders pattern. So you can see the dead-eyed smile of old Mr. Clean there.
Absolutely.
And that does play out to 64.6. So you can see, the old adage of you show me the TA, I'll show you the news. Or I'll show you the TA, you show me the news type thing. That's what we're seeing here. It's just the perfect setup. So if we were to see a Kamala collapse here occur, you could see how we would get insta rejected all the way back down into this right shoulder, and then boom, 64.6 could come.
Absolutely.
At the same time, as disappointed as I would be for the ultimate outcome of that election, Bitcoin going to 64.6 would be a great opportunity, maybe the last to ever purchase in the 60s. However, if we have the Trump trade carries through, What we're kind of seeing now, we're getting a little bit of a pump, but we're getting rejected by this 38.2% fib. Those darn fibs, Drew, I tell you, it's almost like they hold the secrets of the universe in their numbers, one might say.
Mhm.
Just come up to the 38.2, get insta rejected down. So let's see if we can get past up here. And a question I was asked earlier today on my stream was when and how does a pattern get invalidated? And the truth of the matter is it doesn't really until we start closing legit candles above resistance levels. So as long as we're kind of ho-humming around in this channel of eternal monotony, we're still kind of on deck. The probabilities of this pattern playing out are still on deck. However, if we can manage to get up there to 71K, start closing candles, I would say that the probability of this pattern collapses immensely. And just to watch economic paint dry here, this is the monthly closes of November. You can see 2020, 42%, 2016, 63%. So let's just play devil's advocate and go sandbag ourselves into half of 2020. What would a 20% candle look like from here on the old weekly chart to close November? Would take us to 84.5. 84.5.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I'll take it.
Man, these are exciting times to think about. And the 64.6, that's a very interesting number. It's got a lot of confluence on it. That's like the top end of that channel we just escaped out of.
That's right.
You know, and I was seeing it on a couple larger scale fibs as well. So definitely watching out for that. And there may be, you know, I think in my heart, I feel like Trump has enough support behind him here in the United States to win the election. It's just the in-between time frame of waiting to hear that he's certified and all the political jargon and the media spewing their narrative out as they try to reorganize. You know what I mean?
What's the vibe there?
The vibe is very much Trump. I mean, like I have friends that were never Trumpers 4 years ago that literally went and voted for Trump. I know many of them that did. Jeremy, I think, is the only person. I don't even know. He didn't even admit to me that he actually voted for Kamala, but I have yet to find. What's that?
Jeremy works at the Hit Network?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I saw a meme today that said, stop, or what is it? Stop. And I think that the word they used was retard. And they said, prove it. And the bottom one was, I'm in Bitcoin, but I voted for Kamala.
Yeah, I know. And you know, he's just he's kind of an always Dem, I feel like, but I'm still able to conversate with him and try to get his opinion about things. I think he's the only person outside of a few unhinged out in California I know of. But I know of like 5 or 6 never Trumpers that went out and voted for Trump in a pretty shocking way. Really surprised me. And obviously out here, Northwest Georgia territory, it's very, very red. Once you get closer to the city, then you start seeing the Harris signs. But the overall vibe is really looking very, very good. And it feels like it is too big to rig. We're going to see. I really feel like, you know, that and really the worry that I had was for our bags. If we kept sliding down a hill and didn't find any sort of strength, even just tapping our head along the 70K realm again.
Right.
But this morning I saw Bitcoin pump to like 70,500 very quickly. Now it's, you know, trying to fall back down. But with that, the altcoin sector has shown really good signs of life. So I feel like crypto's well and alive. And a lot of people say that this doesn't matter, you know, which way it goes. Bitcoin's going to do what it's going to do. I disagree with that. I think that, you know, more on the regulatory side, you know, I think that this is going to have a tangible difference. Now, if Kamala takes the presidency, do you think that affects the Bitcoin price top on what you're looking out for into 2025? Or will that price performance remain the same?
Well, there's a couple of weird caveats I have to the Kamala collapse. And one is we will have a knee-jerk reaction in the market, which would look like a massive dump, right? And we would recover, you know, quite fast, but it would be quite disappointing sentiment-wise and would probably flush out all the paper hands and what have you. But I actually think that, and this is a little bit crazy, that Kamala win may pump Bitcoin long-term higher than a Trump win. And my reason for that is that when you have such economic calamity that's going to ensue, they will have no other recourse but to emergency fix it. They'll do everything they can, and what I mean by everything is press printer on, because they'll be in such dire straits. Now, it's not going to be a pretty place to live. It's not going to be like food is cheap or anything, but really at the end of the day, no matter what psycho you vote for, they're all just stealing your money slowly or quickly, right? So they don't care about the divisive nature of politics. Oh, you believe in potatoes, I believe in potatoes, all that stuff. They don't care what you actually believe in, because they're just stealing your money. And so at the end of the day, in order for their racket to continue, they need to pump the stock market. So lucky for you, lucky for everyone in this community, you are front running the incompetence of a potential Kamala collapse, because they're just going to pump assets because they need capital gains.
Yeah.
And without capital gains, they sink.
That's an interesting take, though. Hurry up and light this candle. Let the system collapse faster under Kamala Harris. Thus, Bitcoin takes over the financial industry quicker. I mean, that is something that actually is a pretty reasonable thought process. Me, I'm also watching the alts, and, Gary Gensler at the lead of the Treasury Department, probably going to nuke altcoins. So that's what I'm thinking of on the rest of the ecosystem for crypto. But you're right, Bitcoin would probably be a quickened pace of taking over should the hyena be at the helm. Now, we have...
What are your thoughts on tops between Trump and Kamala?
My top prediction for a Kamala Harris win in 2025 is around $120,000.
So a diminished return.
Yeah, I think a diminished return. Under a Trump presidency, I'm looking upwards of the 175 realm, potentially getting near 200, but all just on the heels of the conversation about Cynthia Lummis's Bitcoin Act bill, essentially backing the U.S. dollar with Bitcoin as a reserve currency. So, I think with that extra narrative, I think we would be able to pump closer to $200,000 within 25, and then, have a market reset, essentially. But it does affect me in the terms of on and off ramps. Like, I think the Operation Choke Point 2.0 will be hyperbolic if we should see Gary Gensler take control of the Treasury Secretary position. A lot of people don't imagine that as a possibility, but I've seen a lot of crazy stuff happen over the last 4-8 years here in America, and there's already hints and little nuggets of information that is actually the potential should we see Kamala Harris take that position. So, and then the other side of it, Gary Gensler fired day one by Trump under a Trump organization. So I'm liking what I'm seeing on the Trump options.
That in itself would pump the market,
absolutely,
the crypto market, for sure.
Absolutely. The boogeyman's gone, and all the degen would come out to play. But at large, I really think that if we have that conversation of a Bitcoin-backed dollar, that will give us the extra juice to get near 200K. But at the velocity the markets are at right now, I'm more so thinking it's probably going to land around the 175 mark, just at least getting us near that 200 spot.
I would hazard to guess that with a Bitcoin-backed dollar, I think we might see that 500,000 Bitcoin in 2025, because that would really? it would ignite the game theory amongst central banks and nation states, because if the states does it, everyone has to do it.
That is an interesting thing. So kind of like the snowball effect. If America starts leaning towards it.
Right. You can't be a nation state and not hold Bitcoin if the world hegemony reserve status is backed by Bitcoin. Now, that would probably be the most bullish thing that could ever happen to Bitcoin, right, since it started. God damn. These are exciting times to be alive, man. What a position to be in. It sure is.
And right now, like I wanted to long when we were sitting there piddling around at like 68,000, it was around 68,000. I was like, man, I should long this. It pumped hard since then, so I'm sitting here watching the market. I'm not sure if I want to take a trade till we get. I mean, maybe I'll leave it up to the chat at the end of the show, which where we get into. I don't see any entry points right now, but for your advice for people that are just now finding out about crypto, what advice would you give them on the longer term? You've been through this through multiple cycles, And if they're just looking into crypto at large, what do you tell someone is the best starting point to start learning and educating themselves about when it comes to crypto?
Well, I don't think education starts until you have skin in the game, right? And I think we can talk a good talk to newbies and people that have no clue about Bitcoin, but until they actually buy, I don't really think the education kicks in, right? So once that occurs, you have to start establishing time horizons, right? So most people get into that that aren't investors of any sort. They're basically Janet Jackson's "What have you done for me lately?" I put in $100. Why isn't it 200?
Yeah.
Right. They want the instant grat from putting money in. But, as parents, my time horizon is out by cycles. I go by cycles. So even this cycle, I don't even care about it because I'm looking 2 cycles ahead. This is something you just want to hold on to. And so whatever allocation you get to it in this bull run, just remember, you will be considered in 4 years a lucky early adopter, even getting in now, as crazy as it seems to us. But we will look back at this video and see the 69 ticker here and go, holy smokes, I can't believe it was only $70,000. And I ho-hummed about getting an allocation to it. This will all be comical in 4 years and even funnier in 8.
Absolutely love it, man. That is some great advice because that is exactly how things go. That is exactly how things go. As long as you're looking in Bitcoin or the right projects, the right long-term alts, that is exactly how things pan out. Now, that's why when it comes to here in the blockchain basement, I do talk a lot of shit about altcoins that I don't think there is any hope for. But I just have to be honest about what I see. Been in this thing for multiple cycles, and not all of these projects will even exist a market cycle from now. A lot of them that we see at the top, they're going to be gone.
What do you see in this bull market for alts?
Well, there's a little bit of change today. I mean, there was a Thorchain Rune has had some big changes now. Basically, taking the DEX aspect away from Thorchain. I love DEXs and decentralized exchanges and what they stand for. The buying pressure on the token for Rune might be going away with this, and with this little tiny change, it really could spell some doom and gloom for that project. So at the moment, I'm more excited about auxiliary Solana plays. I'm excited about, Jupiter. And Jupiter's a big one. Radium looks like a strong potential. Drift, we've been watching Drift. It really hasn't taken off yet. It's showing some good volatility, but Drift's TVL and what they're rolling out as a DEX on Solana, very useful. But then a lot of cool things coming out on base chain. They just came out this alien base a little bit ago. Lots of strong TVL movement. The price is matched up with that. But alien base and then Moonwell and Aerodrome. Aerodrome is kind of where I started my base chain digging. I just had been under the inclination once I saw the Department of Justice take aim at Binance, get it out of the way so that BlackRock and this Coinbase custodying of one of the world's largest Bitcoin wallets at this point is making way for Coinbase's base chain. And with that, a lot of really interesting projects that I think are going to have some explosive timeframes over the next year here are setting us up. So it's a great time to be alive. And, I'm going to be taking advantage of the little dips, the little stumbles we have here and there. But, for anyone that's wanting to keep up with your awesome macro TA and all of the levels that you're watching, when do you go live and where can people keep up with you at?
Every morning on my YouTube channel, Piano Matty B, I do a video production of some technical analysis and then followed by a short little live stream just to get a little deeper into the macro. And sometimes on Friday, when Drew isn't too busy, he'll pop on and we'll have a little chat there as well.
Absolutely, brother. And sorry I missed you last Friday.
No
Things
worries.
got a little bit nuts on me, but I will be on there this Friday if you'll have me.
Perfect.
All right, brother. I'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah. Kelly Killam, motherfucker. How you doing?
Dude, there's some things going on today.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff in the news.
A couple things. Did you vote, Kelly? Did you vote?
Well, I did, but I don't really... What's that?
Can you go to this mic?
Oh, yeah. Switching mics. He's got a echo thing going on. I talk too loud. is apparently what we found out yesterday. I'm too loud. That one's
you, good
better
sir.
anyways. You look more comfortable. There we go.
But I want it all visible.
There you
so
go.
yeah, so I did vote, but I don't really want to talk about who, I can't really tell you who I voted for because that's a private thing.
Oh yeah, so you're keeping that under the
So I don't want
covers.
anybody to realize who I voted for. This was made before he left the election. This is him in the hospital room with a fly on his head. And these are two posters he had above his bed of his hero. And I
Are
just
those
want,
flies
Yeah,
above
those are-
Biden's head?
can you zoom in on it?
What is those flies above his head? What is it?
He has flies on his head. And then, of course, I don't know if you can see this.
Oh my god! Let's see. Oh my god! You got the bullet hole through the window. Oh my
Through an
god!
American flag.
Through an American flag.
So with that being said, I did make two of these. If anybody wants one, you do a little contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a little contest on maybe everybody that retweets the live stream today on your Twitter will randomly draw one
Okay.
at the end.
That's a good idea. We should do that.
Yeah, so
we
I'll-
should do that.
I'll-
All right. So retweet the show on Twitter, of course, and then we will randomly select. What do you got? Two of them we can give away.
I have this one and I have one more. So
All right, so we'll give away one. One
Yeah.
winner is going to win that. Shout out to Falco dropping $5. Please take this for some decibels. Man, Isaac's going through it over there. You know.
But is it just me, or does it feel like we're in like the Super Bowl of Super Bowls, the Ultra Bowl?
Dude, this is a big fucking deal. What's going on today is, Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was talking about this potentially being the last free and fair election. If we lose this one, deep state for good. I mean, it does feel like it's too big to rig at this point. There's a lot of election news breaking live. Let's fly through the Bitcoin updates that we got here. We got Mt. Gox moving $2.3 billion in Bitcoin across two transactions. Larger of these $2.2 billion appears to have moved to cold storage, so that's not too scary. Just keeping an eye out on that Mt. Gox Bitcoin. We got Bitcoin mining hitting all-time highs, surpassing 100 trillion terahashes. That's cool. Very secure network. Probably pretty hard for the average person to mine Bitcoin, if not impossible at this point. Bitcoin ETF saw a 6-month high of $540 million in outflows on November 4th. So we did see a big pullback out of the ETFs on November 4th as investors are hedging themselves, edging themselves, and trying to protect themselves from the chaos of the markets to come. Traders are waiting for clarity in crypto markets. Bitcoin has seen notable decline in the amount of non-empty wallets. 211,000 less addresses exist compared to 3 weeks ago, a strong sign of FUD that is typically associated with future bullish price performance. Meanwhile, sentiment also picked up a drop of 11,600 USDC wallets in a single day this weekend. As stablecoin behavior fluctuates wildly, also keep an eye on Dogecoin wallets suddenly rising rapidly, up 46,000 Dogecoin wallets in just 1 week, a sign that traders are speculating and gambling on meme coins even after last week's local top. And with Dogecoin, there's also this sneaky little boy that's waking back up again. We covered this thing back a bit ago. Department of Government Efficiency. And I saw Crypto Steve-O's liking this thing, that accumulator. I think they got in on this thing pretty early. I'm not quite sure when Steve-O got it. But honestly, it's at a $2 million market cap. If Elon does get that position, Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, I would not be surprised to see this thing absolutely moon. But the thing that's keeping me just kind of iffy is all the dev cells. Scoot my face out of the way here real quick. So no buys for like the main portion of these wins. It's all just sells. So I have kind of stayed on the sidelines of this one. I'm a little bit hesitant about it, but I'm not going to be surprised if this thing catapults up to $60 million if Elon gets that actual position. But all the Bitcoin stuff, it's looking good. We got FUD coming in, which is marking probably the local bottom. And we have Brian Armstrong posting this, the Stand With Crypto website. This is where you're able to keep up live with the election race as the results start to come in. Obviously, no results have been posted as of yet, But kind of cool to see Coinbase tracking this and giving the option to keep up with it all as it unfolds live. And I don't know, it's going to be pretty hard to sleep tonight. I don't know how I'm going to fall asleep tonight.
So what's the over-under? Do you think we'll have something before midnight? Do you think it'll be somewhere before 6 a.m.? Or do you think it's likely somewhere towards the end of the week?
Ugh, dude, I mean, I think that we're going to know that Trump has won tonight. I think we're going to know that, but they're not going to admit it or verify it for at least a week. I'd see Congress almost refusing to certify this election for a given amount of time.
Which is crazy because of all the discourse they had around, Trump's transition to power and certifying.
And Trump is like, he's got those JFK vibes, especially you saw him at Bitcoin Nashville, right?
Yeah.
When he said things like this definitely goes straight up against the central bank, the Federal Reserve. Donald Trump at Bitcoin Nashville.
Plan today, I am announcing that if I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%. I hope you do well, please. This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile.
See, a conversation like that's a direct threat to the Federal Reserve. You know what I mean? And that gives extreme JFK vibes. Obviously, and you remember, they tried to pop his head like a cantaloupe on live television. It's on the back of your shirt. They tried to assassinate this guy after those comments came out, right? So he's out there talking about never sell your Bitcoin. And he's basically creating this FOMO for competition against the Federal Reserve. And then we saw the assassination attempt on him. I did want to remind people of that time frame because it just seems like people have forgotten how crazy this election has been. And they really tried to decimate him on live television. And it is absolutely insane to think that people are just kind of forgetting about that it's not a big deal anymore. There's been near 3 assassination attempts on his life. And I really would like to see, this country have faith in its electoral system again. I would like to see people conversate on a cooler head level. Like me and Jeremy disagree on politics, but at least we're able to conversate about it. He's not like spitting in my face or trying to punch me.
Yeah, it's a conversation. He'll disagree, but it's never charged.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I don't agree with that. It's not like, like somebody in the comments here earlier said, it's hard to, you have to be a closeted Trump supporter in California. Why would that be? Only because if you say something to somebody that disagrees on the left, you're like you're a Nazi. Like basically, they just tell you that they're fully bought into the propaganda machine.
Yeah. Shout out to 2 Crypto Trump working at the Trump election watch party, scheduled to work till 4 a.m. due to them not sure when the results will all be in. And this is something that's different this time, is we have a grassroots and pretty much across the board movement of Republicans that are not going to get caught flat on their feet this time. They're not going to let the 2 or 3 a.m. water pipe burst flush out everyone that's supposed to be there for oversight. And there's a lot more suspectness going on with this situation. So there's a lot of eyes on the situation. It does feel like this is too big to rig at this point.
We got boots on the ground too at Mar-a-Lago. Hit Networks.
Aaron is down there.
One of our main guys is down there at Mar-a-Lago. Hopefully he'll be able to catch if Trump is at Mar-a-Lago. I don't know if he is or not. I believe he is. If he walks out and gives any comments, he'll be there to get some footage.
Yeah, dude. He was he was stressed but excited, and I really hope he gets to see Donald Trump live the day of the election.
Well, TJ was saying this morning he had to be there to get set up and situated because of Secret Service and everything at like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's got to go through a lot, and there's reason for that. 3 assassination attempts on the guy's life. Like, my God. Drew, why are you stunting so hard? I can't stop. I can't stop stunting. Now this from that same conversation at Bitcoin Nashville, Trump talking on his thoughts of Gary Gensler.
Day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman. I didn't know he is that unpopular?
He realizes how hated Gary Gensler is. He's like, hell yeah, this is great. I'm going to fire the shit out of this guy. And it sounds like, I think I've looked at it before. Gary Gensler does he have to resign? Or how do they get rid of Gary Gensler out of a chairman of the SEC type position? You know?
Well, it's not that Trump can fire him. I think what Trump's very good at, though, what people need to realize if you are for or against him, is that he's very good at organizing the pressures where they need to be. And so I think that's kind of what would happen. And I think he needs to be voted out by the because you're essentially the chair of the board.
Yeah.
So the board, and hopefully we get Hester Pierce.
Well, that's what the talk of the town is. And Hester Pierce, I mean, I like this take from Crypto Busy. Altcoins like utility tokens cannot move properly when a government agency like the SEC is 80% anti-crypto. If Donald Trump wins, Hester Pierce, also known as Crypto Mom, is seen as a top pick to replace Gensler for a pro-crypto SEC under Trump. If this happens, we could see old and new altcoins move to a new level. Man, that would be something else to see, wouldn't it? All the utility coins that have just been getting bludgeoned to death, all the attention's either on meme coins, Bitcoin, Solana, or Base, and all these other layer ones that are kind of old school, old guard of crypto, they've been left in the shadows here. If we do see Hester Pierce come into play, aka Crypto Mom, this could be very healthy. And it's not that I disagree with the SEC existing at all, because there are frauds out there that need to be taken care of. And if you do commit fraud, there should be repercussions for that. It's just regulating all of the industry out of the United States out of fear and just proactive lawsuits, slapping things on all kinds of different organizations, IMX, as we saw last week. It gets tiresome to see this attack on crypto just continue. And now, a vote, or this is from Digital Assets Investor, a vote for Trump. Gary Gensler is pressured into leaving or getting fired, but vote for Kamala and you get Operation Choke Point 2.0 with Senator Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler's war on crypto continuing. Gary probably taking that Treasury Secretary spot. Now, Elizabeth Warren versus John Deaton. I wonder, does John Deaton stand a chance against Elizabeth Warren?
Well, it's so entrenched there. I would love to see him win. I really would, but I feel like today is such a crapshoot. I mean, even in the last 24 hours, I felt like Trump was on lock, and then I started seeing such a groundswell of, I don't know if I clicked on something or what, but in my algorithm on Twitter, I started seeing such a swell and the type of people, you know, fervently like defending Kamala Harris and stuff like that, and it's just kind of surprising because you can't go back 4 years in time on each person in 2 minutes in a comment on Twitter and re-educate them on undoing all the propaganda that's been in there, you know? So
yeah,
we just have to see how it plays out. It's an exciting day.
When I did see the love for Kamala pick up on my Twitter feed, and it's not that I follow any of these people, but it seems like the algorithm was trying to serve them to me, trying to be balanced, it felt like. But it just gave me a good opportunity to troll. You know what I mean? Because I don't know where to troll. I don't know where these people are. I never see Harry Sisson's posts. Isaac, is Harry Sisson still like a damn deep state kid? Or what is his deal?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about him? Is he making you feel good?
No, of course not. I don't like this kid. Always trolling him in his lives, and he doesn't like it.
So. Trolling is healthy. Okay, make bullying great again.
And he needs it.
Yeah.
The rest of his butt boys.
Now, we have this Kamala Harris out at a speech last night. Let's listen to how the vibe is out in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Let's vote. Let's get out the 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 vote. Let's win.
I mean, that's the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
But that's the vibe we need to see, right? Just beat down NPCs. They're like, you know, they don't know how to think on their feet. She wants to change it up. Let's get out the vote. Let's get out the vote. And she's just left up there by herself, yelling into the microphone. She seems more and more like Michael Scott at times from The Office. And that's in Scranton. Wasn't The Office in Scranton, Pennsylvania?
Yep.
Wasn't it? So there you go. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. Kamala Harris really holding it down out there. Now, Polymarket users are hammering into bets for Trump. Wallet Mobile just bet $10 million on Trump winning the election. He's set to win $16 million if Donald Trump is declared the presidential election winner today. I think the caveat is today. I am going to be absolutely shocked if they declare it a win for Trump today. I am absolutely expecting Trump to win, but I really, really am having a hard time thinking that they're just going to go ahead and admit it right out of the gates. Especially there's some states that are going to have trickle allowance. I mean, we saw some judges across the U.S. have demanded that the votes be put into place the day of the election and counted the day of the election. But also there is some give or take with a couple different states. I think it was Nevada that were allowing those to come in afterwards. So I will be shocked if that. I can't handle her voice anymore. I get dumber each time I hear it, especially when she laughs. I mean, that's kind of how it feels. My wife got mad at me.
I get dumber each time I hear it. That's
dumber.
Wow.
My wife was upset that I portrayed her as the Joker many times on the thumbnail because my wife actually likes the Joker. So I might have to change that up, and hopefully I'll never have to speak her name again after this damn day is done for. So let's check out the electoral. This is Real Clear Politics. Like this website just to keep up with this, and obviously I'll be using a slew of different websites to track the Electoral College votes. As it sits right now, it has it set up in a few different ways. So you have 139 hard stops for Harris on the electoral vote side. You have 93 electoral votes that are very, very likely to go to Trump. And then you have a slew of in-betweeners. Starting here with the dead center toss-ups, you have 108 electoral college votes up for grabs in this gray zone. And then the likely for Harris, you have 52 that are leaning that way. You have 20 that are probably going to go that way to Harris. You have 94 on the likely for Trump or leaning for Trump, and then 32 that are likely for Trump. So as it sits right now, we are looking good. It's setting up. Trump is likely in the lead at 219. Harris coming in at 211 with 108 in the between to grab. Down here in Georgia, how in the hell are we a toss-up state? That is beyond me. But here we are. North Carolina, a toss-up state. Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Arizona. I'll move my face. Arizona, and then Nevada here. So very, very key states these are. And as you can imagine, all the arbitrage of let us vote late or no IDs required over here on the west side and even the east side of the United States and upper portion. These are going to be very, very important states to grab. Now, we may as well go to Polymarket. I wonder what Polymarket's looking like.
There was a nice little bounce
On Bitcoin?
No, a nice little bounce for the, they kind of got really tight, the Polymarket.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a nice little bounce.
Yeah, let's see what we're looking at here. Polymarket. All right, we're going in. So we got latest swing state odds 3 minutes ago. So Arizona, very likely for Trump, it looks like. Georgia, very likely for Trump. Pennsylvania, coming in likely for Trump. Nevada's a toss-up, 50-50 on Nevada. Holy hell. Wisconsin leaning Harry, and Michigan leaning towards Harry balls as well. So interesting to see there. Let's keep scrolling. Harris took the lead momentarily in Nevada. Look at this. This is kind of crazy to see. Just a total Trump's just in the lead, holding strong, and then wham, right there. We're going to see if this is a pretty tight race. It looks like Nevada is going to be a pretty important one to grab. Let's see here. Odds Trump claims victory before Associated Press calls the election are up 80%. So this is a bet in and of itself that people are making that Trump's going to declare the victory before.
You know what I
AP
hate
admits
about
it.
this?
What's that?
Is the discourse after the election last time and how Trump was such a bad guy because he challenged the results.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a regular thing over the last 20 years, all the way back to 2000 when Hillary Clinton came out and saying that the election was stolen from Al Gore. And then when in her election in 2016, challenged it and said it was basically a rigged election and it was stolen.
Well, and that's the dichotomy. It's okay for them to say it's a rigged election, but the right go to jail or get visits from three-letter agencies if they are sitting here questioning it on social media. And, you do face the debanking. You do face being unhireable. by corporate America if you question these things, which is why I need your guys' support. If you can go ahead and become a member for $1.25, that helps me stay in business here and not have to worry about that, because, you know, going against the grain and refusing the jab and telling people why I refuse the jab is what got me kicked out of a company I helped build all those years ago. It's been an aggravating situation to watch ever since. Thank God I finally have a social media platform like X where we can share our thoughts and information on. But your guys' support is helping keep us going, keeping the lights on. And I appreciate every single one of you that are out there doing this. We do have a glimmer of hope here. Jim Cramer saying that markets action suggests traders expect a Harris win. So Jim Cramer,
the king of wrong. Yes.
The king of wrong. I mean, this is the moment we were looking for.
That's
Cramer.
the endorsement that we wanted to see.
It really is. Well, and the Cardi B, I was here for too. Like,
thank God we got the whole Diddy's whole crew is endorsing Kamala Harris and Jim Cramer. Man, I'm so worried.
I know, it's like all the people that were at the Diddy parties that are like being looked at for being like these weird butthole surfers are also now all of the people that are endorsing Kamala Harris, including Kamala Harris, talked about being at the Diddy parties as well. So what a weird time to be alive.
Hey,
Now,
her husband did say she kept her head down.
and she got to work, right? She got to work. She kept her head down, got to work. Good. God bless that. Now, this is Catherine with a crazy post. If Donald Trump loses, I'm fleeing to Mexico. If Donald Trump wins, I'm getting deported to Mexico. Either way, I'm going back to Mexico. Ugh, what a tough situation.
Because what you just said about the jab just is incredible. Because he's right. Who said it? Steve-O said, a lot of women are voting for Kamala for the one reason, my body, my choice.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Why the fuck did that not apply to taking a vaccine that they've proven has been a completely sham?
I know. But at the time, it was... So there's a lot of context there. It's like... You had Trump do Operation Warp Speed, which I absolutely vehemently disagreed with. But the difference was that it was a mandate, not a law, and he didn't push it into law. He didn't force police agencies to start checking paperwork. He didn't force it. It was something that he made available to the public, and it was up to local jurisdictions to try and force it for themselves, which they failed at miserably because guess what? Police officers aren't willing to enforce it, right? So when it really came down to the wire, and when it came down to asking local police agencies to start checking paperwork, guess what they said? No, we're not doing that. And they also refuse. I know many, many police officers that are still in position now that refused the jab then. They refused it adamantly and very effectively. They didn't have to get loud about it. They just said, no, not going to do that. No. What are they going to do? What they could do is stop new cadets from coming in at the time that didn't have the jab, but they couldn't dislodge the existing department. And you know what? God bless the police officers that stood their ground, and they're still in place now. So when they say all the good guys are gone, no, many, many, many good guys stood their ground and kept their positions all the way through the situation. Now, one organization that did force it, Falco, bringing up, is the Army. Now the Army's trying to offer back pay and like restitution for it, yada, yada. The Army's basically always forced vaccinations for, people getting a part of it. But you're property of the U.S. government at that point once you sign up for the Army. So that is something to keep in mind. The police officers, different story. And I know the Inside Baseball Forum, especially in Colorado. And there are still plenty of good guys that stood up for your rights in the dark, in the background. They got no credit for it. And if I have to hear that all the good guys are gone and there's no more people willing to stand up for our constitutional rights in the background there, I've got to say you're dead wrong about it. Yeah, there's a lot of bad apples. There's a lot of people that did bend the knee for it, but many, many did not. So, and what would you do? So let's say, I don't know how to imagine a world. If I'm here illegally, I'd probably just be trying to get the paperwork done, right? But I could never imagine fleeing the United States. Like, I'd feel like this, the resources and what we have here in the United States is a situation I would be willing to die for. I would not be fleeing to Nicaragua to go try to utilize their resources and be a leech on their system. Rather, I would stand my ground here and try to fix the local area here for my kids rather than trying to flee somewhere else and be a burden on their system. You know what I mean? That's just kind of my take on it. So it's hard to imagine that. And there's a lot of conversation. People are fleeing tyranny. You know what? How about stand and fight the tyranny? How about stand and fight the situation you're facing? Army is hurting. Interviewed a sergeant major who works in recruiting. Army recruiting, tough. You know, and
what did RFK say about over roughly 70% of American military-age males they could not even qualify to join?
So Isaac, what'd you say, Isaac? This earlier this week.
I posted on X. And I was like, "What are the odds that I get drafted?"
Yeah, and then Kelly responded.
Yep. Said very high because most people aren't fit to qualify. So we're like,
It's true. It's true. That's my fault partly too. I mean, yesterday we had another great boxing session. We're doing the half hour, hitting the bag straight, just constant punching for a half an hour. And then, was it 3 or 4 5-minute rounds with a minute break in between?
Not even a minute. We're like 30 seconds and right back to it. Stop.
It keeps it going. And that is a really resetting workout. Maybe I'll call it the Druth or something like that.
The Druth boxing routine.
Yeah. Just absolutely sending it. Get fat, Isaac.
No, I refuse to be obese.
You would have a really hard time getting fat right now.
All you'd have to do is tell them that you sleepwalk and you wouldn't get. Oh,
really? That's the key? Sleepwalking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about it. If you're in a foxhole and you get up and sleepwalk across enemy lines, you're fucking dead.
Well, I really, I hope that Isaac never has to get there. I really do. I hope my son never has to get there too. That's another reason why I'm so adamant about Trump becoming the president, is because I don't want my son fighting in World War III against Russia and China. I think that is a lose-lose situation. And it's a situation that if we don't stop overfunding Ukraine, if we don't stop overfunding NATO, we are going to end up watching our sons in trenches die fighting against drones. Drones are a completely new terror symbol of the modern warfare landscape, and I would never want to see my son having to go up against that. Absolutely not. Now, what we see from Finance a Lot, some reports of voting machines across Pennsylvania are going down. So we'll see if they have any more follow-ups on this. I do believe I tagged some in the, we're going to get weird here, Isaac. We're going into my bookmarks. Danger zone.
Take down.
Let's see here. Bookmarks, because there's a lot of breaking news. It's pretty intense keeping up with all of it. Let's see here.
How to enlarge your...
What's that? Enlarge?
I was acting like I could see your bookmarks. I said, how to enlarge your... Wait.
So here's some more. So we got voting tabulator machines in Michigan and Pennsylvania now reporting errors, with many being down. Local officials are telling voters that they'll scan their ballots for them later in the evening. Some locations also reporting that they have the wrong tabulators. How can the United States be the most advanced nation but can't hold a simple election without this nonsense? Me and DZ were talking about this morning. It's like they made this impossible by design. How in the hell have they supposedly gone to the fucking moon and we can't add up votes for our election? Really?
Listen, I've been using Microsoft Excel since Windows 95.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, it's a very, very simple thing. And you would expect a lot more out of it. And this, just in the highlight of all the early polling, remember this, when Hillary Clinton had a 71% chance of beating Trump back in 2016. Didn't turn out too good. But guess what? Seeing this, the 71% chance, I remember AR lowers for AR-15s, they started doubling in price. I made a pretty good amount of money selling lowers back then. It was a good time had by all. We also had this, Mike Tyson coming in and talking about the election. Let's hear what Iron Mike has to say.
Hey. I'm voting for Trump. So what somebody's going to do about it?
I don't think anybody, I mean, I'm going to disagree with you.
So what? What are you going to do?
I love it.
I fucking love Mike Tyson so much.
I can't wait to watch that fight. And you know what? I have to say, I don't know if you saw it. Jake Paul put out his thoughts on the election. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't like, ooh, what does Jake Paul think? But I was like, I was like, what does this guy got to say? And I watched it. I was like, did you watch it?
No.
It was an incredibly well put together, Like, it wasn't like some YouTube guy that got famous. It was very well put together, kind of dispelled some of the rumors. It was really good. And, you know, I don't really care who wins the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. I think it's going to be an incredible spectacle to watch.
Dude, Jake Paul can punch, dude.
Like, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude. He moves fast. I don't think he's going to win against Mike, but man, if you can even make Mike Tyson bleed just a little bit, that's a big win. That's a big win.
Now, if he was saying that he was going to vote for Kamala, I'd be like, I hope Mike Tyson kicks his ass. But I don't care who wins it. It's just going to be fun to watch Mike Tyson fight again.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Speaking of fight, we're going to probably have a fight over the certification of Trump at the end of this, y'all. This is a post from Jay Hans talking about Jamie Raskin stating that he doesn't plan on certifying the election that hasn't even happened yet if President Trump wins. Let's have a listen to what this leading congressman on the Democrats plans to do.
Again, it's necessary, but it's not sufficient because what can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, you know, they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025. They want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring that again.
So what does the 14th Amendment say?
So there's been conversation about how it's up to Congress to certify the election. Jamie Raskin's one of the top-ranking congressional leaders that is set to be required to do so should Trump win. But given these new parameters that they were put in place in 2022, especially within the 20th Amendment, that put Kamala Harris in the temporary seat of presidency, and then Congress has to sign off on the transition of power. Now, with the rhetoric like that you just heard Jamie Raskin talk about, the rhetoric of Kamala Harris, we will never let him in, that is where my thought process on a slowing of the transition of power comes into play. I don't think that the Democrats are going to be letting go of this very easily.
What reasoning? Did he give any reasoning, or has there been sort of bullet points that they've projected of what their potential reasons for disqualifying him are? Because right now they're already saying he's disqualified.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reasoning that they've created themselves, that he's unfit, that he would put us all in camps if he's elected, right? It's really, they're going to use the regurgitated rhetoric that Jamie Raskin and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have used on Trump supporters to basically say that these are domestic terrorists and that they are a threat to the United States. So we can't certify it, and we won't be moving forward to it. So this is where the double-edged sword is. And Veteran Crypto, me and him are very serious about this DOD directive that
that the current administration put in, that they could fire on people. And this is the same time they're out there saying President Trump wants to use military. Motherfuckers, you guys just put a DOD directive that said the U.S. military could kill citizens here on soil. So why are you pointing the finger?
Yeah, I mean, you see some pretty problematic rhetoric coming out. In the Liz Cheney conversation about Trump, we'll pull it up here. Let's see here. Where is... Oh, God. This is what happens.
Striking.
This is what happens when you raw dog into Twitter right now. Basically, what Trump actually said about Liz Cheney is that if she loves these wars so much, she should have to face the adversaries herself if she's so adamant on America ending up in a World War III situation.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And that's a very common thing that the left had used for decades. Like, if you want this war so much, GOP war hawks, you should have to fight it yourself. That's a very common thing that the libs used to say. Then Trump goes ahead and says it about Liz Cheney. All of a sudden, now you have conversations. Trump threatened to point a gun at Liz Cheney and pull the trigger and blow her head off. You know what I mean? It's just so hyperbolic. And the tension rhetoric is at an all-time high because of this. Because if you say that this guy is Hitler enough times, then you end up with a population that's willing to treat him as such.
And you know what's crazy is some people might ask, well, why would Trump say something that could be soundbited that way? Because you wouldn't even think that that would be how they would contextualize it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's just so insane, the timeline we're in right now. We have a couple pictures about the voting malfunctions in Pennsylvania. Voting machines in the western part of the state were experiencing issues due to problems with their flash drives. Machines reportedly failing to scan the ballots. This is what we just covered. Pennsylvania, Michigan. They're back up?
They're back up. And it also, wouldn't you know, it's in a county that is about 80% Republican voters.
Is it really? Well, imagine that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But this is a quick reminder on the chaos that happened the night that Trump won. Okay, this is the reminder of what came afterwards so that we are prepared.
Burning cars and smashed windows. A small group of protesters dressed in black, their faces covered, armed with hammers and bricks.
The anger reaching a boiling point in the nation's capital after President Trump took the oath of office. Police in riot gear facing off against the protesters just 6 blocks from the inaugural parade.
Facing off with thousands of officers on site, many in riot gear, confronting them with flashbang grenades and pepper spray.
I don't remember this.
You don't remember?
Uh-uh.
So these are Antifa cells. Those are Antifa cells, and they would come in like batches of 50, maybe a couple hundred of them. They were all flown there by Jorge Oros, and they're funded by our tax dollars, actually. And so the recent funding that has gone to the Palestinian movement is being funneled through those same avenues. It's actually 5 times the amount of funding that BLM and Antifa received.
And isn't a lot of that funding also being siphoned off through climate change initiatives?
Yeah, that's exactly. They labeled it Inflation Reduction Act, and then within that, the climate reduction, the climate saving packs and all that. And so the climate saving packs is what shoveled all the money to these new rioting positions. And in my opinion, these systems are positioned. And if Trump does, I know a lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people think this is incredible to say, but it is my opinion that when Trump is elected, then you will see those systems activated. And then what we just saw on this computer screen will be times by 5 in especially city centers. So it's important to be prepared. We also saw crazy shit like this. Tennessee man detained in neo-Nazi scheme to target Nashville power grid. Skylar Filippi, age 24, has been charged in connection with allegedly being in a neo-Nazi plot aimed at demolishing a Nashville energy installation. Department of Justice reports Filippi intended to deploy a drone equipped with explosives driven by white supremacist beliefs. So the drone, driven by white supremacist beliefs, to cause disruption. The FBI having kept him under surveillance since June. Why the fuck didn't you do it? Yeah, this is the thing. They always we had him on our radar. Every single time they had him on their radar, and they don't do anything. And he ends up being able to punch out and get a fucking pipe bomb on a drone and nearly take out the Nashville power grid. It's just so insane. Filippi was arrested after he reportedly prepared a drone with what he thought was active C4. Merrick Garland has declared the DOJ will take a decisive action against individuals attacking vital infrastructure due to hatred. How about just in general attacking vital infrastructure? It's a pretty big damn problem. But they got to have the hate spin to it. They got to say the whole neo-Nazi hate spin to it to make it just that much worse. And then we see publications like this from the New Yorker with titles, The Americans Preparing for a Second Civil War. Many now believe the U.S. could descend into political violence. Some are joining survivalist communities, canning food and buying guns. Never knew that canning food and having the Second Amendment right that our Constitution guarantees makes you an extremist. Did he say fight? This is a whole write-up, just this emotional dialogue of how people ended up being a preparedness expert, and now they're getting ready for war against the evil Democrats. And, no one wants this. Nobody wants a civil war. How about we just have a free and open election and let people decide who can lead the country so we can avoid this. Because once conversation stops, chaos then begins.
And if you want change, this is the first election since 1976 that a Bush, Clinton, or Biden isn't on the ticket.
Yeah.
So change is, okay, we need to move on to a new house.
That's a kind of a crazy thing to think about, too. Now, the Bush, Clinton, Biden. Bush, Clinton, and Biden have been on since when? Like 1970?
1976.
That is fucking crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So, you know, talking about this is the fermenting, the seeds being planted by the power elites above us, trying to push us to this degree. And I just beg people to please don't take the bait for it. We can still have the conversation on a legislative level about what's going on in the world. And if things do descend to that crazy situation, you got to watch out on how you homestead. This is an important update.
Hi, real quick, I need to speak to Louis Vuitton, the dude that makes these handbags, backpacks, whatever they are. We've got chickens, and when I go down to collect eggs from the chickens, I use the little white plastic bags from Walmart. Go down there to the chicken coop, put the eggs in the bags, come back up, ta-da, we're done. Yesterday, we didn't have any bags, like we were out, and I don't know where to get more because I don't know if we had just not got groceries or what. So I went into our room, and my backpack that I used to travel was full of stuff, and I couldn't find any more bags, so I grabbed this freaking Louis Vuitton, Louis, whatever it is, out of my wife's closet, Louis Vuitton. I was like, all right, it's no big deal. I'll just go down there, I'll collect eggs in it, bring it back up here, put the eggs in the fridge, and no one will know the difference. Then on the way back up, one of the eggs busted when I was unloading them, so I got them all out of there except the busted egg and put the backpack under the sink and started washing it out. And my wife walked in, and to say that she had a third-rate come apart is being mild. I was like, what? I'll just wash it out. It's no big deal. Just wash it out, and it's fine. So in between exorcisms, she managed to say, you're gonna...
Oh. Dude, this would be me, though. If I had, like, fancy bags... I am this way. And if you do have your wife, you know, walking around with a Louis Vuitton bag, don't put eggs in there. Okay. I have put eggs inside my pockets. They break. Things get weird. Things happen. So, you know, being familiar with how to do husbandry and chicken work. And I am thinking about, you know, it would be nice to have some goats, you know, some goats and some honeybees. So I got some ideas for the next add-ons here. Really, you know, there is so much going on, you guys. Joe Rogan has endorsed Trump in a big move as well. We had this. Trump came out thanking Joe Rogan for the endorsement. And here, Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about this is likely the final election for us if we don't get out there and vote. Rachel Maddow saying that the U.S. government should cancel contracts with Elon Musk companies, or for Musk to remove himself from the companies he has founded, like SpaceX, because he is politically interested now. Absolutely insane, unhinged middle school PE teacher talk. And really, she can get fucked. The polling station updates, I posted this on X. Make sure you know when your polling stations are open. This is from Walter Bloomberg, just highlighting it. There's something else that I need to get to here. This is something else. So we have, you know, Walter Bloomberg highlighting how people are being careful about the investments that they have right now, risk off for the moment being. But then index put and call ratios soared to the highest level since October 2021. Look at the jackknife on the puts and calls right now for regular Wall Street, man. This is absolutely crazy. But this even crazier. So pandemic era IOUs are coming due after the United States election in the beginning of January. Now, this is going to begin with a couple $100 billion worth of pandemic era loans that were made to companies that now need to be paid back or refinanced at, guess what? Instead of 3%, they're going to have to be refinanced at 7 or 8%. But it doesn't stop there. So we have a few $100 billion that's needed to be addressed at the beginning of January. But over the course of the next 2 years, or actually 1 year, you're going to have to refinance $2 trillion worth of pandemic era loans that have been made to these businesses. And guess what? Here's the truth. They're going to default. And who's going to be there to buy up all their blood, all the guts on the floor? None other than this man, the one, the legend, Warren Buffett, who is now sitting on $325 billion in cash after continuing to unload billions of dollars worth of Apple and Bank of America shares this year. He's also put a moratorium on buybacks of Berkshire Hathaway stock. This guy sees what's coming with the refinance of these pandemic era loans, and he's going to be buying excellent businesses for pennies on the dollar. This is going to be absolutely insane to see. And I'm telling you right now, it's coming over the next few years. You're going to see some of your favorite brands be on the brink of insolvency, either go insolvent or be bought out and consolidated by Berkshire Hathaway. Now on the meme coin side and XRP Hell side, Solana meme coin Frog hitting a $400 million market cap. That's great. But XRP and the Hopium continues. Just do it. This is the new signal here. This is the Nike pattern that they've come up with for XRP.
Just do it. Let's go.
Just do it, bro. And they're saying $1.10 is liftoff point, right? That's when you get to liftoff. I beg to differ. Now, there's a lot of people that hold XRP, and I try not to piss on it too much because I run out of piss at times. But, Kelly, where do you see XRP's top being this bull market cycle? Can you give them hope, or are you going to kick them in the teeth?
$1.41.
Oh, that's pretty damn close to me. That's pretty damn close. Like I'm putting top end $1.90, if like roughly around $1.50, just for business as usual.
I think there's going to be a lot of people that exit once it gets up because it's been such a long wait.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? And when they see that they can get their money back at least for what they originally invested, then they're going to use that value and go somewhere else. So with that, we're being careful about what we're investing into. I have some targets that I've talked about before. Where's Bitcoin at? We're at $70,057 right now. Not looking too shabby, but my targets, the immediate targets in my sights right now are Moonwell, which is taking a little bit of a haircut. We're down to 8 cents. So that's great. We're taking a little bit of a shaving off this price. Might be looking at a double bottom moment. So I might just have to go ahead and pull the trigger and not wait on potential future volatility. But Moonwell is definitely within that target list. And then...
Shit. Is this at 7.9 cents?
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't looked at this one in a minute. Yeah, because I layered in when you brought it on my radar. I think it like 3.5 cents or something.
You got 3.5 cents?
I think so.
Very nice move. Alien on base. Let's go to the right one here. So this one's at 30 cents. And TVL looking strong. It's a cool little DEX on base. And the haircut making me smile went down from 50 cents down to about 31 cents right now. You know, if we get a contested election, wouldn't be surprised to see more jackknife to the downside before it takes off. But Alien Base and Moonwell are my grabs for the market pullback. God, should I redo my ICP bag? I made a lot of money trading ICP. It's like the narrative has seemed to have left.
I will tell you, when I was in Brussels at ECC and when I was at Bitcoin conference and when I was at Singapore for Token 2049, ICP had a pretty big presence with some, they had like 2-day mini event kind of side conferences with so much discussion about things that they're building. So I do think there's some stuff coming for ICP.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad re-entry point because what I did is I built the bag at $3.50 even before this. And then I sold it at $16.50. And I saw just these lower highs being created, kind of just like, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to let it settle down. It looks like it might be settling down. It did fall into the $6 range yesterday because you saw the pain. I mean, when Bitcoin was getting a little bit of a haircut, fuck, these altcoins, they got slammed. I might, God, it's such a tough decision on it. That's cool to hear that they have plans on it, but overall, it's weird, like being one of the only profitable ICP traders out there. Because like this, a lot of people are still holding on to bags like this. They're like asking me, is it going to reclaim $300? Like, no, I don't think that in this cycle. ICP as it stands right now, this thing could hit $100. This thing could hit $100. Let's go into the other opportunity zones here. Let's see who's acting well. On the top, of course, Dogecoin with Elon Musk getting to the forefront of conversation. We got Mogcoin trying to make that Billy spot. Man, me and Hannah were talking about this thing and it was like, fuck, what was it, like $50 million or something like that? It was tiny.
Yeah.
It was even smaller than that, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was even smaller than that. So we've been watching Mogcoin for a while. This it's just magnetized to $1 billion. Aerodrome showing really good signs of strength at $1.17. That's great. That's a big chunk of my bag. Bitensor with the bounce back king move here, up nearly 10% at about 462. Not a bad entry point in my opinion for my personal bag. It won't be surprised if we kind of sit here and play around in this 350 to 450 spot for a moment here. But Bitensor Tau escapes and goes back into price discovery very, very quickly. Caspa trying to resurge, sitting there at 11 cents. A lot of people holding from the ultra hype for Caspa came at like 16, 17 cents. There's a lot of bag holders on Caspa now because they thought this is the new proof of work king. And then the issues come about it. That's right around 16 cents, 17 cents when Caspa released that meme coin craze. It didn't do so hot. So now, there's a little bit to be desired there. SWE hanging out around a $2 mark, so that's great. Who's the biggest loser here? MakerDAO. I think that this is a good opportunity for Maker. Anything close to $900, I feel like it's a good steal on MakerDAO. Thorchain, I've been bullish on for a very long time. I was talking to TJ about it. I'm not feeling so great about it. This change kind of taking away the hardcore token need for the Rune token. So I'm going to see if this thing kind of settles out and stops bleeding here before I start thinking about that one for my portfolio. But then the other stuff is just stable coins. So that's a good sign. Here's XRP, just edging everyone into oblivion there, just flatlining like the days of our lives. My God. But there's a lot of opportunity, I think. Jupiter is another one we got to check out and see what the price is. 92 cents, not bad. Let's see.
Just remember,
here.
the next 2 or 3 days could spell a lot of whipsaw price action.
Absolutely.
So take advantages where you can because the pressure is here in the markets. Don't get chopped out because you see some stuff drop now. Look for opportunities when they arise, man.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing is I'm setting up. These are like target good projects I have in mind, and if I see that moment of weakness from the unsurety of the election, then I move in. I got about $1,000 in Tether to just go in and buy up bags of it, with Radium. We got here. I think Radium's another strong auxiliary play for Solana. Overall, it's not looking too bad. Where's Drift at? Are we still just drifting around 50 cents there, Isaac?
39.
39. What did you do to my bags, Isaac?
I did nothing. Just more entry points for
That's
you
true.
who want some.
Fair enough. I like Drift. The TVL actually looks some of the strongest. The TVL to price comparison for Drift looks very, very strong.
But does the narrative sort of leave a little bit with the election betting kind of evaporating?
No, because it's a DEX. It doesn't rely on the bet on Drift. Like they brand that way, but it's just a true and tried DEX when you really boil it down. So, no, I don't think the betting competition messes with it too much. Might actually be a pretty damn good entry point right now, but watching all these things, keeping in mind, of course, my Chainlink behaving pretty well. I'm not mad at Chainlink at all. Look at it. It's up 6%, right around $11 today. I am all right with my Chainlink. It's basically, it hasn't outperformed Bitcoin. Should I have just kept it in Bitcoin? But it hasn't underperformed versus Bitcoin either. So, I'm there for it. And I think that Chainlink's upside is going to outpace Bitcoin's upside over the next 12 months in a pretty big way. So I'm happy to have built a position on it. Average entry is around $4. I mean, I have some coins that I bought for $1.90. A lot of hammering in here at this $5.50 mark. I'm feeling good about this position. I think that we're going to be seeing $100 plus Chainlink this cycle. So I think I'm positioned well.
We got to do the giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
So how about this?
How do we do it?
Give me a number between 1 and 100. 85. Give me a number between 1 and 50.
Let's see here. 23.
So what would you say? 85 divided by 23. That's what we're going to do. 85 divided by 23. 3.69. That's a round up to 4. So we're just going to count these. We're going to count We're going to count the
live.
Count it
giveaway.
live. Where's it at? We're going to start with quotes. Where's it at? Boom. You post interaction. Quotes. So 1, 2, 3. Nick Dunn.
Oh!
Nick Dunn. Nick Dunn, you done won yourself one of these. Beautiful.
Dude.
Unique. One of 2. And you know what? I'm going to give this one Tater, who's always been so supportive in everything we do.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to give her the one that I'm wearing off my back. Reach out to the Blockchain Basement message on Twitter, or send me a message on @KellyKellum, and we'll get your address. I'll send it out to you.
Thanks for doing that, Kelly.
Of course.
Very nice. And Nick Dunn, huge supporter. Nicole Tater, huge supporters. That is freaking awesome. Now, when is Render going to do something? This is a great question. I got out of Render at $10. Been watching its price just toil ever since here. Let's go to Render. I do have a specific time frame where I'm looking for insanity on this token. That would be March of 2025. I think right around March of 2025, we're going to have the NVIDIA conference come once again. And I do believe Render will be able to breach these previous all-time highs. This happens right around the NVIDIA conference and all the AI hype coming back to the market. I think we fast forward to March 2025. We're going to have the same damn thing happen. And I think you're going to have some fun with Render. It's setting up at a higher price point. Previously, it's holding right above these previous points of resistance that it broke beyond. And look at when you see the AI hype happen, just absolute price explosion, price discovery right there. And I think we'll be able to breach that $13 realm once March of 25 rolls around. Just a wonderful time to be in position right now. I got to figure out what to do with my Trump MAGA tokens. We got MAGA token right now. It's sitting here barely. This is chaos. I'm sitting here at $3.69. I'm up on the position, but not huge. I think I'm up by 60%. So thinking about moving this one into something else, but I got to see it through the election. You know what I mean? Because it might absolutely go nuts. Seeing previous high came in at $17. I'm excited about it. Shout out to everyone that joined us on the show. Shout out to Nicole Tater for winning that shirt from Kelly.
And
pretty
Nick Dunn.
badass. And Nick Dunn. Nick Dunn, I'm going to find you. Nick Dunn is a very early chatter, so I'm going to be able to get him. Truck Dano, Veteran Crypto, VZ Fat Cat Crypto, Steve-O, Zachary Martin, Nicole Tater, of course, K-Jam, and down in the Rumble, we got Inked Pirates. You guys are absolutely fantastic. We have fucking Jeffrey holding all high on his bump token, just chilling here. I love every single one of you. Today, you know what? Do we have a zoom in on the base chick of November here?
Let's take a look.
Let's see if we got the shot here. Oh, we got Josie, the redheaded libertarian. Shout out to Josie, baking some cookies or something. And on the 5th of November, you see President Trump is reelected on November 5th, according to that calendar. So it's written in the stars. We knew it was coming.
All comes down.
Da-na-na-na.
This right there, baby.
Yes, baby. And you know what? This time frame is going to go down in history books. What we've experienced over the last 4 years and today, this is going to be a historic day. So shout out to everyone for joining us on the show for this incredible show. Kelly, all the work you do in the BitLab Academy. Make sure you're signed up for the BitLab Academy. Make sure you're signed up as a member down here in the basement. Maybe we can get to the top of the 1,000 members goal, and I can give Isaac an AR-15 just in time for the election. So let's do this. But I love and appreciate every single one of you out there, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow, and actually probably tonight. I'm going to probably have to do an emergency live stream, so keep your ears open, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.